Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or to my channel. Today's video is going to be very cozy and comfy because we're doing it in the comfort of my bed. I'm really excited about today's video because you guys have been asking me for a Q&A for the past like 2 years, and I've been saying I will deliver and I never deliver, but I'm gonna deliver today. So I asked you guys to ask me a bunch of questions over the span of the past like month, and I got a lot of questions, but I'm not going to answer all of them. I'm just going to answer like the ones that were repeatedly asked because I'm not answering over 1,000 questions, but I will answer as many as I can. And we're also going to be crocheting. I have to get done 20 roses, so hopefully I can get like at least 10 done in this video. Yeah, I don't know if today's video is gonna be long. Hopefully it's a little bit longer because I know you guys like the longer videos, so you guys can crochet with me, and here we can crochet together. So let me stop the yapping and let's get started. I answered a few on my Instagram stories, so I'm probably not gonna answer those unless it's like something that it gets asked a lot. Okay, the first question, she asks, hi, I'm about to open my crochet business. Do you have any top tips? I'm pretty sure she meant tips, not tops. But anyways, so wait, I need to think this through. I have to count. I'm gonna count real quick and I'll be back. Okay, so the question was, do I have any tips for making tops? I guess I'll give you guys like the main tips that you'll need. So once you make a top, make sure that you're able to make it in multiple sizes. If you're not able to make it in multiple sizes, make sure that it says specifically like in your product description that you can only make one size, and make sure that you have the measurements for the one size that you have. But if you do multiple sizes, make sure that you again have the measurements for each size. So you have the measurements for extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, whatever. Make sure you have the measurements for those. And if you don't do like small, medium, extra large, etc., you can take their measurements, and typically like with tops, if you get it from YouTube or if you get the pattern from Etsy or anything, they'll tell you how to make it a certain size. Either they'll tell you how to make it in small, extra small, large, whatever, or they'll tell you how to make it based on your measurements. Whatever it is, make sure that you put those measurements on your listing. So let me explain it a little bit better. So for example, if you have small, large, extra small, whatever, if it's like small, okay, for small the bust size is 24 inches, the length is 10 inches. For medium, the bust size is 30 inches, length, whatever. And then that's how you'll size small, medium, large, whatever. But if the pattern says like measure it to your waist size and you don't know their waist size, make sure that you either message them, or you have like on Etsy, it lets you put customization and the person can put their measurements in, so crochet it to their measurements. I hope that made sense. I always tend to over explain things and then it stops making sense. But basically just make sure that you have your measurements right. And the best way that you're going to make sales and keep customers happy is if you have multiple size ranges. Because if you just have one size, not everybody's one size, and it's kind of hard to get somebody fit into one size with crochet because crochet doesn't stretch or anything. Yeah, make sure you have multiple sizes. Make sure you have multiple color variations. I'm telling you, you'll make people a lot happier if they're able to pick whatever color they want, especially because in this crochet they're probably going to be paying a larger sum of money than if they were paying for fast fashion. So just at least let them pick the color. It's important to let the customer feel like they're more in control. Other tips I don't really have much tips for tops other than like sizing is really important and variations are really important. Where to find top patterns? There's a lot on Etsy and they're super cute. You can just go on Etsy and search up like crochet top pattern or crochet bralette pattern, whatever, and you can find a lot of super cute patterns on Etsy. You can also find a lot of super cute patterns on YouTube and on just like blogs and stuff. Like if you go to Pinterest and you find like a cute top, typically it's a pattern on somebody's blog that you can go find for probably free. But yeah, I don't really have much tips for the patterns because most of the time I make my own patterns for my tops, so I don't really know. But how I make my patterns, because that is a question that I get a lot, is I literally combine a bunch of stuff that I like into one. So I'll find like Pinterest pictures of like, oh, I really like that aspect of that top, but I also really like the aspect of that top, and then I just somehow combine it. I always sketch it out first though, so then I can really get an idea of what I'm going for. But yeah, I make my patterns literally just by combining multiple things that I like, and you can like search tutorials for certain stitches. So I'll be like, oh, that has a shell stitch and that has a picot stitch, so then I'll look up how to crochet a shell stitch, how to crochet a picot stitch, put it together, and I don't know, it just works for me. I guess because I've been crocheting for like a longer time, so if you've been crocheting for a long time, it's kind of easy to just eye it out and figure it out by yourself. But yeah, and also the best way to learn how to make patterns for tops is to follow written patterns. So learn how to read written patterns. And once you learn how to read written patterns, I feel like ever since I learned how to read written patterns, I knew how to do everything. Like, I'm telling you, learn how to read written patterns, and for some reason it'll like unlock a skill that'll teach you how to make your own patterns. I don't know how it works, but it works. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I swear it unlocked like a new superpower. But yeah, I think I answered a lot more than your question. But let's get on to the next question. The next question was, how do you freehand something? And that, there it is. Like, you literally just learn how to read written patterns and do a couple written patterns rather than just watching tutorials. Because if you stick strictly to watching like video tutorials on how to make patterns, you're not really gonna learn how to make your own patterns, because you're not really thinking about what you're making. You're just blindly following the YouTube tutorial. Like, I know whenever I follow a YouTube tutorial, I'm not like, oh, this must be the waist of the top. I'm just copying the person. Like, I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing. So if you read patterns and you like are forced to measure it to yourself, or forced to like figure out what this part of the top is, then you'll learn like, oh, okay, so if I want to do this with this stitch, that's how I would do it. So that's kind of how I learned how to freehand my tops. I also just always sketch them out, and when I sketch them out, I can kind of see what I'm going for, so that I'm not just going blindly into it. Try to experiment a little bit next time you're making something, like switch up the stitch or switch up the pattern a little bit, and it'll just like unlock a certain level of creativity that'll help you whenever you're making more patterns, if that makes sense. I hope that helped. I don't really know, because there was no like 3-step way of how I learned how to make patterns. It just kind of came to me, and I think that's what did it. Next question. This one says, what made you start a business? You really helped me start my own. So that's so sweet. I'm gonna give you guys like the story from the beginning to the end, because dang, it's already been 10 minutes. This video is gonna be long. But anyways, I started crocheting in summer of, I think it was August, summer of 2021, I believe. And it was because like on TikTok, I kept seeing a bunch of like crochet videos, and it was, what's her name? It was Passionate Kelsey. I would always see her like crocheting on a road trip, and she'd crochet like super cute tops, and I'd be like, dang, like crocheting would really make things so much easier for me. Like, and I've always been sort of a creative person growing up. I used to knit when I was younger, but I would just knit squares. Like, I never knitted anything really, but I used to knit, and I used to do rainbow loom. I used to draw, I used to paint. Like, there was a lot of creative things I did in my life. So then I was like, okay, let me unlock this new skill, like crocheting. And I didn't really think much of it. I was like, I'll just learn. Like, I'm not gonna be like obsessed with it. It'll just be fun and whatever. Like, it was just in the back of my mind. And then a couple like days, weeks, months, I don't remember, just a little bit later, my friend, she bought a bunch of crochet stuff. So I was like, if she's gonna do it, I have to do it. Like, that's my best friend, we have to do it together. So then like the next day, I ordered a little crochet, I didn't even order a kit, I ordered like a bunch of yarns, and they were like tiny little yarns, but they came in a bunch of colors. And then I ordered like, I think I ordered like a 5mm hook, or no, I ordered a whole pack of hooks, and I think that was all I ordered. And I waited days for it to come. Like, I was so excited. Every single day I was going outside checking if it was here, and I was waiting, and finally it came, and I immediately got started. Like, I started crocheting, and it was so hard, but I don't know why I didn't give up. Like, I just kept trying. And yeah, the first thing I made, I believe it was a bucket hat, and I feel like that's everybody's like first thing they ever make. It was a bucket hat. Comment down below what your first thing you ever made was, but mine was a bucket hat, a black bucket hat. Why did I make it in black? That's where I went wrong. I made it in black. I couldn't see any of the stitches, so that's why I like thought it was so hard. And so then like the same night, I learned how to make a granny square bucket hat with like, I did it with different colors, so it was like new for me. And I don't know, I was just having so much fun. So like then over the past, like, I would say almost a year, or the past few months, I just continued crocheting every day until like I learned how to do it good. Like, I learned how to do it really good. And so after a while, like, my mom was like, hey, why don't you just like put it on Etsy? Like, you don't just like sell it on Etsy. You can just make a little bit of money just like making stuff. And I was like, you know what, why not? Like, I was just like, you know what, why not? Like, it'll be fun. I either make money or I don't. It doesn't matter, because I'm just doing something I like. I need to focus. I'm not, how am I gonna get 10 roses done in this video? She was like, yeah, you should just sell on Etsy, and I was like, yeah, maybe. And then like after a couple months, I was like, yeah, I'll just do it, whatever. Like, it's not like I'm starting a bit, like, I wasn't passionate about it. I was more so like, well, I might as well do it, because like I just crochet things and I don't really use them, so I might as well, give them to somebody who will use them. And so I started my Etsy. I was super excited, and I had it up for a while before I finally got my first sale. It took me a long time to get my first sale though. Like, it took me a couple months before I finally got a sale, and I was so excited. Like, I was literally so excited. And I packaged it up real cute, sent it off, whatever. A couple months later, got another sale. You know, I was getting sales every few months or every few weeks. Like I wasn't popping when I first started. Like I wasn't. So I was just getting sales here and there. And then like I think after like a year of having my Etsy, I decided to like start a TikTok. Literally the same reason I started my Etsy, like just for fun. You know, I like to crochet. Why not crochet on the internet? It'll maybe help me get more sales. And again, I wasn't passionate about it. Like I was like, when I grow up, I'll just be an architect. Like I'll just be an architect, or maybe like an interior designer. Like, you know, I don't see crocheting, I don't see whatever in my future. Like I wasn't thinking about it. So I started my TikTok, and I posted my first TikTok, and it got like 100 likes. And when I tell y'all, bro, I thought I was so popping when I posted that, because it got 100 likes. And I was literally so excited, because 100 likes is a lot of likes. Like that's a lot of likes. And because I remember when I used to post Musical.lys back in like 4th grade, I would get like 60 likes. And that was like, when I got 60 likes, I thought I was on top, bro. Because normally I would get like 20 likes, you know. So whenever I got 100 likes, I was like, oh my gosh. Like I was so excited, and it motivated me to keep posting more TikToks. And so I would post. I started like taking TikTok very seriously for whatever reason. Like I started posting every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. I would post. I found that my funnier content did good, so I made more funny content, and I would get like 200 likes here and there, maybe like 400, you know. And I was really excited. Like I was getting a lot of likes. And at the time, I was posting TikToks, but I wasn't showing my face. Like I was just posting TikToks of like me doing something, or like a funny video, but I wouldn't show myself. Because I was just kind of insecure to put myself on the internet, because I was like a sophomore in high school, and so I really cared what other people thought. So I didn't want to. I blocked the whole school. When I tell you I blocked my entire school, even though I wasn't even showing my face, I blocked my entire school. Like I didn't want nobody knowing I had a TikTok about crocheting, because I was just so embarrassed. Like at the time, like, you know, crocheting is cool now. Like it's cool to be a crocheter, or like to do a grandma hobby. Like that's cool now, but back then, you were not cool unless you were doing drugs, girl. You were not cool. So, you know, I blocked everybody. And, you know, I post my TikToks. And then one day I was making a sweater just for fun, and I posted my face that day. Like I was like, you know what, forget it, I'm gonna just post my face, see how it does. Because I remember I saw a video, and it was like a girl, she was like, how to grow your social media platforms. And she was like, make sure you show your face, because you'll be more trustworthy, da 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 da. And I was like, you know what, fine, I'll try it. So then I put my face in the camera, and that video got 1,000 likes. 1,000 likes. And I was on top of the world. Like, and that's where my platform started to kind of take off a little bit. I like grew to like 1,000 followers, and I was just kind of growing, but my shop was still like kind of like, my shop wasn't popping still. I was getting orders every few weeks, you know, maybe a little bit more here and there, but I still wasn't really like that girl. Like I wasn't, you know. And so I just continued making TikToks for a couple months. And then back in October, I don't remember what year this was. I think it was like 2022, 2023. I don't remember. But I posted you've probably seen it. It was a Halloween crochet bucket hat Halloween. It was a pumpkin hat. And that video went viral. When I tell y'all that video, I don't know how many likes it has right now, but it had over 1 million views. And that's what took off my Etsy. Like ever since I posted that video, my Etsy has just been it's just been going ever since then. And yeah, that's my little story time. That was not the question that you asked. I didn't have anything that made me start my business. Like there was nothing that really made me be like, I want to start a business, you know. It was just more so like, maybe like a couple bucks here and there, it'll be fun, why not, you know. It was never like I was never passionate about it until like now. Of course I'm very, very passionate about it now, but back then I was just like, you know what, whatever, like it'll be fun. And I'm glad that I did do it, because now I am passionate about something, and I do know what I want to do for my future. Because, you know, deep down I did not want to be an architect. I didn't. I just wanted to design something. Like I just wanted to make something, and I finally found the thing that I do want to make. That's why I started my business. That's how I'm doing now, and it's been a really, really fun time ever since then. Thank you for asking that question. Next question. Okay, this is my most asked question. This one is like, how do you balance crocheting and school, or crocheting and work, or crocheting and this and this and this? So I always avoid this question because I don't really have an answer. Like if I gave y'all an answer right now, it would be a bunch of BS, because I don't really have like a system in place, because I'm kind of like a spur of the moment person. Like if I'll be like, I'll be like, okay, tonight I'm gonna make all my orders and I'm gonna stay home, and then someone will be like, hey, you want to go get something to eat? I'm out. So, you know, I'm not that good at time management. I'm working on it, but I definitely could use some improvement on the like on the action of it. Like I'm good at planning it. I'm really good at like planning it, writing it down, scheduling everything, but I'm not good at actually doing it. I need to work on that. But as of right now, how I do it, because I don't have a job. My job is this, thank God. But I do go to school and I do take like I do take like harder courses which require a lot more of my time. So like I definitely understand why people ask this question, because I definitely struggle with this too. And I don't do it the healthiest way, because I just like lose sleep, or like I just stress a lot because I don't know how to manage my time correctly. But if I were to do it correctly, this is how I'll tell you guys how I plan it. I just need to start acting on it. But how I plan it basically is I get my orders, whatever, and I leave my shop open until I feel overwhelmed. So sometimes I'll get like a certain amount of orders and I know that I'm gonna be too busy for my week to get those orders done. I'm really realistic with myself. I'll say that, like if I know I'm not gonna be able to make more than this set amount of orders, I will pause my shop. I'll put my shop on vacation and I'll get those orders done, clear my life, and then once I feel ready, I'll open my shop up. And I do this a lot when it's like final exams, or when I just have a lot of orders and I just don't, I'm not motivated to crochet, or like when I have a market coming up. Like when I have big things coming up in my life, I make sure I pause my shop if I have too many orders. Yeah, so just be realistic with yourself. Don't overbear yourself with work. Otherwise you will fall out of love with what you're doing and it'll feel more like work than a hobby or like a passion. So just be nice to yourself. Don't overwork yourself. And also write everything down. I keep all my stuff written in a planner and I plan out when I will make certain orders, and I always give myself a little bit of breathing room because you don't know what's going to come up in your day. So I don't like plan things back to back to back to back anymore like I used to. So like for this week I wrote down, okay, I'll make this person's order for the next 2 days, ship it. This person's order for the next 2 days, ship it. Realistically, you're not going to get anything done over the weekend, so just relax during the weekend, start back up on Monday, get those done, So I stay really realistic with myself and I plan everything out that I need to do. A big help in my how I get things done and the speed that I get them done is I crochet in all of my free time. Anytime I have any free time, I'm working on orders. If I'm going out, if I'm going out and I'm in the passenger seat, I'm crocheting in the passenger seat. If I go out and I'm at dinner and I'm waiting for the food, I'm crocheting at the dinner table. I'm always crocheting during my free time if I have orders to get done. And this includes if I'm at school and the teacher's lecturing, I can crochet and listen to her lecture. I know I've seen a lot of you guys say that your teachers don't let you crochet in class, which is kind of dumb because who are you bothering? You can pay attention while crocheting. I'm talking to y'all while I'm crocheting. It's not that hard. But if you can crochet at school, definitely crochet at school. I crochet at school and I'm able to get a couple orders done during my school day because I have a lot of free time at school sometimes. So yeah, just really try to crochet in your free time. Don't book yourself out too much. Pause your shop if you need it. And yeah, those are my main tips. I don't have anything special that I do. I don't know, I just really love what I do and I get really excited when I get custom orders and I just want to get them done. And yeah, so that's my biggest tip. If you do these things, still find yourself feeling overwhelmed, maybe just realize what the problem, maybe the problem is you don't like crocheting anymore. Sometimes that could be the problem. Maybe you've just fallen out of love with the hobby and that's okay. Or maybe you just need a break, or maybe you're just not meant to be crocheting every single day. It's really just about I don't know how to explain it. It's really just about the person and your day-to-day basis and what you like and what you don't like. So yeah, maybe through this process you realize that crocheting is meant to be a hobby and not a job. So it's really just being honest with yourself and taking care of yourself. Make sure you don't overwhelm yourself. Make sure you don't start hating it. You know what I mean? Because there's definitely been times where I've been so overwhelmed that I was I'm never doing this again. I hate crocheting. I'm never gonna crochet again, so just, yeah, I'm not gonna say it again. Just don't overwhelm yourself. But if you do crochet, go to school, do a sport, have a job, take care of siblings, cook, I don't, honestly, you're a freaking superhero because I could never. I just crochet and go to school. That's all I do. I don't do any sports. I go to the gym every day, but that only takes an hour. So yeah, sometimes you just have to realize that you can't fit a bunch of things into one day, and that's okay. You're not a superhero. You still need to sleep. You still need to eat. You still need to take care of yourself. And that's okay. That's okay. Don't stress about it. Maybe crochet on the weekends, just don't overbear yourself with work because you're gonna fall out of love with your hobby. I'm done talking. I need to stop talking about it. Anyways, next question. This question, she asked, would I ever start knitting? And the answer is definitely, definitely, because I used to knit when I was a kid. I already said that in this video. And then like, I think like a couple, maybe like a year or two ago, I really wanted to start learning how to knit again. So I bought like some circular knitting needles, and I really didn't know anything about knitting. Like, knitting is so confusing to me, like, because the materials you need are way more complicated than crochet materials. So I was like, and they were expensive too, so I just bought like some cheap wooden ones, but then like they weren't really the right size. I don't know, it was a lot, and I was so confused. And I tried to learn to knit, but it was just, I don't know, it was just a lot. Like, it was just a lot of work. So then I kind of gave up. But I think it would be fun if I filmed like a YouTube video, like crochet, like learning how to knit as a crocheter. I feel like that could be a fun video, and I could force myself to like make a project. I'm gonna write that down. That's actually a really good idea. But yeah, I think that would be a really fun video idea. And just like, you know, I want to unlock a new hobby. Knitting is fun. Knitting is cute. Like, knitting looks, I feel like knitting looks better than crocheting. Clock me, I'm sorry, but I just feel like knitting, like, I'd rather see a knit stitch versus a single crochet stitch. But then again, crocheting, you don't have to do single, double, half double. You can do like shell stitch, picot stitch, picot. I don't know how to say it, but there's like lots of different stitches you can do with crochet. So I'll give crochet that. Crochet is a lot more versatile versus knitting. But knitting, if I'm making a sweater, I'd rather see it knit than like double crocheted. I'm sorry, I know. I'm cheating on the crocheting community, but that's just how I feel. Like, I'm sorry. Definitely, I do want to learn how to knit. Okay, another question I get a lot is what camera do I use? And I use the Sony ZV, I don't know if it's F1 or 1F. I'm pretty sure it's Sony ZV-1F. Sony ZV-1F or Sony ZV-F1. And I love my camera. She does the job. I think she's perfect for like beginners because she's relatively cheap rather than like the Canon GC7X. The camera I use, love her, she's cute. Her zoom is not that good, and she needs like a little bit of better lighting, and she doesn't have a flash, and the mic is a little bit so those are my only issues with it. But other than that, she's great. She works perfectly fine for me. I don't see myself upgrading anytime soon, but like maybe I'll get like a more zoomed out lens because the lens is very close. Like, you guys are really far away from me, but you don't even know it. It looks like y'all are right in front of me, but y'all are like all the way across the other side of my bed right now. So the zoom is not so great. It's really zoomed in. But other than that, I love it. It works great. Next question. This one is a good one because I get this question a lot in like different variations. She asks, how do you make your acrylic sweaters so perfect for the body? Mine always stand away. And I'm assuming she means like, how do you make your like sweaters not like, because you know how acrylic yarn is kind of stiff, so it won't really like hug your skin, like it won't relax, it'll just be more like this. I'm guessing that's what she means, or he. I didn't really read the name. But how I do it is I steam my projects. Steaming your projects is like, or at least your sweaters, if you're using acrylic yarns, I recommend you steam your projects, whether it's like if you want your shirt to be more like loose and flowy, steam it. If you want your sweater to like be more loose and flowy, steam it. If you want any acrylic yarn project to be a little more flowy and like loose and just relaxed, steam it. I'm telling you, steam it. It'll make a really big difference. And you guys always ask how I steam. I showed it in, I think it was one of my recent vlogs. It was making crochet order vlog, I believe. I'll put it on the screen. But I showed you guys how I steam my sweaters, and it's pretty easy. You literally just turn on your steamer and steam it like you would normal clothes. Like, you just go, I stretch it a little bit, and then I just steam each part of it. You can try it on if you want it to be more loose, steam it again, get the parts you missed. That it's pretty easy. It's a pretty easy process. I prefer this over blocking, which is when you just put it in water and then let it dry. I did that one time and nothing happened, so I prefer steaming. Steaming works better for me with acrylic yarn though. I don't think it'll do anything for cotton yarn, but with acrylic yarn it works beautifully. Also, comment down below what you guys are, if you guys are crocheting with me, comment down below what you guys are crocheting. I'm making my roses for Mother's Day orders. Next question. Okay, this one's a good one. She asks, would I ever sell crochet patterns? And the answer is, I actually don't know. I prefer making YouTube videos because A, it's free, and I love free patterns. I'm sure y'all would love free patterns. And B, like, I feel like I'm better able to express what I'm saying or what I'm doing on a video than if I wrote a pattern. I've written 2 patterns before, and I almost posted them, but I never did. I don't know why, I just never did. And this was like a couple years back, before I even had a YouTube channel. And I thought about it, but then I just didn't end up going through with it. But I think I prefer to keep my patterns on YouTube because it's easier for me, and also it's easier for y'all because y'all can get a free pattern out of it, you know. And I'll sell, like, maybe, because lately I haven't been enjoying making YouTube tutorials because I feel like I don't express myself good enough. Even like if I'm talking to y'all, I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like I've been getting a little bit lazy with my tutorials, and they're just not that good, you know what I mean? And I can't answer every single comment because there's just so many, and like, it's just a lot. So I might start making patterns, but I don't know. If you guys would be interested in that, let me know, because I don't know, I feel like it would be fun because I love like writing things and creating things on like Canva and like making things look pretty. So maybe I'll try it. I don't know. I'm open to it. I'm definitely open to it, but honestly, like, it's just easier for me to film a YouTube video about it, because I don't really like give you guys patterns for the money. I more so give it for, like, I want to see people wearing something I made, you know, like whether I made it physically or I made it digitally. Like, I want to see you guys. It's just so it's so amazing to see that I created something that like the world is able to use. That's more how I think about it, rather than like, oh, let me put it on Etsy so I can get paid, you know. And that's not a bad thing to do. Like, do it at all means. You get your money, girl, get your bag. But I don't know, I just feel like I more so like to see it on people's bodies than on my bank account. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I'm definitely open to it. Okay, this is also a really good question. She asks, how do you decide on a crochet project, like price? Like, how do you price your items? This is a question I get like a lot in my comments and in my DMs and in like my Q&As. It's a really big question, and sorry about like the lighting fluctuations. I use the lighting from my window and the sun is going in and out, and I don't feel like pulling out the ring light. It looks so fake, so I'm just gonna, if it's dark, I'm sorry, the lighting is just not that good. But what was the question? I literally forgot the question. Oh, okay, the price. How I decide to price is I don't know. When I first started pricing, I was looking at other people's prices. So I would go on Etsy and I would search, if I'm selling a crochet hat, I would search up crochet bucket hat, and I would find people's that look similar to mine, and I'd be like, oh, they're listing it for 30. Let me list mine for like 30 or 25, you know, depending on if I think mine looks better or worse than theirs. No shade, no tea. Like, that's just how I did it. I would be like, oh, my hat, like, you know, has a little bit of a more of a brim, so I feel like I should up the price a little bit more. Or my hat doesn't have as much design, so I should lower the price a little bit. Or, oh, this person has a lot more followers than me, I should probably lower my price because I'm not like as known as them. Or this person has way less followers than me, I should up my price because I have a bigger platform than them. Like, I just kind of went off like that, rather than how you're supposed to do it, which is, I don't know the math for it. You can probably look it up somewhere, but they take like the hours that they spent making it, and that's the problem. I don't know how long it takes me to crochet projects because I put them down and then I pick them up. I don't really crochet in like one go, so I don't really know. And then they take like how much the materials were and then how much they want from it, and they put it all together. And if I did that, I just feel like if I did that, nobody would buy from me because it would be so expensive, and people don't realize like the time it takes to make things. And you know what, that's okay. I had to learn that that's okay. If you want a bucket hat for $5, I'll give you a freaking bucket hat for $5. Like, people don't understand how much time goes into these things, and they don't really appreciate it, and which is understandable because they're not the ones making it, so they actually don't know. Like, it's not them being ignorant, it's just them not knowing. Like, it's an innocent ignorant, you know. It's not like a plotting. They're just like, oh no, I can get that on Shein for this and this, you know. Like, some people just really don't know how hard and how like laborious it is, you know. And that's okay. That's just because they don't do it. So that is why I don't price mine the way I should be pricing my items. But if you can also experiment. That's something I also used to do. Like, I would put the price at what I want it to be, and if nobody would buy it, I'd be like, okay, let me be more realistic, let me put it down like a couple more dollars, and then more people would buy it. So that's how I would do it. And then what I do to this day is whenever I post something on my Etsy, I post it at like a pretty low price, because I don't know how it's going to do, especially if like I posted a video on it and the video's not doing too good. Then I just put it at like a kind of a low price. So say like, I'll give you guys an example. So say I put this rose on my Etsy. Say like I made a rose, I posted it on TikTok, the TikTok did really good. Okay, I'll post the rose for $20. But say I made the rose and the rose didn't do too good on TikTok, I'll post it for $10. You know, like I will lower the price depending on how it posts. I like how the post does on my social media. But if you do not make social media, then just post it at whatever price you want, and then you wait. If you get a sale, you can up the price a little bit, or if you don't get any sales, you can lower the price a little bit. And that's just how I do it. So if I have something on my Etsy that's been on there for a while and nobody's been buying it, I just lower the price a little bit. And if still nobody's buying it, I basically just take it off, because why am I paying 20 cents every month when nobody wants it, you know? So that's how I do it. And then if people are continuing to buy the product, I up and up and up and up and up the price, because you're doing more labor, so you need to up the price. So that's what I did for like my Spider-Man hats. I would get like 4 orders of that hat a day. So the price of the hat literally went from $20 to $85, because I was just getting so many sales. So I would just up the price each time I got a sale, if that makes sense. That's how I price my products. I don't do it the right way. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I don't do it the right way because people, like, I'm not saying nobody's gonna buy it if you do it the right way. Maybe people will appreciate you more, but I feel like the audience that I have that buys from my Etsy don't realize like how these things work. And that's no shade. Like, I'm really not trying to be mean. Like, I'm so grateful and so thankful for everybody that buys from me, but I just feel like I've gone so long with making my prices kind of low that it's just what people are used to, and they're not like, if I up my prices, they're gonna be like, girl, what? Like, it was $20 last week, why is it $50, you know? So I'm kind of stuck at this, like, I'm kind of trauma dumping right now, but like I'm kind of stuck at like this lower medium price range that is not really benefiting me in much of a way, because I'm spending like half of that money on products and then the other half on time managing. I don't know, I'm kind of yapping a lot right now, but how I price my products is you can look at other people's, see how they do, and price it however you want. Or you can like ask your friends, like, hey, would you buy this for 20 bucks? Or hey, how much do you think this should be? If you saw this on the internet, how much would you expect it to be? That's what I do a lot of the times too, when I really don't know how to price my stuff. But typically, if I give you guys like a little rundown for bucket hats, you could do between 10 to 20. For tops, I typically do between 30 to 50. For sweaters, I do between 50 to 100. And then those are like my main categories of things that I make. For like little accessories, I do between like 6 to 20. So there's my little rundown, if you will, of how I price my products. I've literally have not made a single rose, and it's been like an hour. Okay, next question. I also got this question a lot too, which kind of shocked me because it's not crochet related. But somebody asked, would I ever post a book vlog or like a reading vlog? I like kind of tickled with the idea with you guys, and you guys actually kind of like the idea, so I think I would. I'm just so scared to switch up my content, because like as soon as I see my numbers drop, I get like a little bit like that kind of hurt, you know, and that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I need to stop that. But I don't know how it would like perform, and that I know I shouldn't care about that, but like I don't know, I feel like I'm not good enough at reading to post a whole vlog, because reading vlogs are like, hey guys, what I read in a week. So I only read 10 books this week and 7,272 pages, like, you know, and I'm not that good, guys. I go to school, I can't read that much. Maybe over summer, because over summer I can probably read a lot, especially if why am I getting a phone call? Especially if I'm making a video and I'm like, okay, I need to read this many books so I can finish the video. Hold on, let me answer my phone call. Like I was saying, yeah, maybe I'd post one over summer, because over summer I have more time to read. But I don't know if I could be able to post like a read with me vlog, because it would be kind of short. Yeah, and I feel like reading vlogs are more like aesthetic, because I can't really talk to y'all while I'm reading, but I can always talk to y'all while I'm crocheting. But I can't talk to y'all while I'm reading, and I'm a big yapper, so I don't know how that would work. But if you guys are interested in me posting one, let me know, because I'd be so down to post one. Like, I love reading. I really love reading. Like, my Goodreads is in the description if you guys want to see what I read. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Definitely one that I could do is like reading the ACOTAR series, because I haven't read the ACOTAR series yet, and I feel like that could be a fun video. And there's also a lot of series that I haven't read. I haven't read the ACOTAR series. I'm only one book into the Shatter Me series. I haven't read the Throne of Glass series. I'm just now starting the Kingdom of the Wicked series. I'm already knee deep into King of Wrath series, so I don't really have, or no, the seven, what is it called? The 7 Deadly Sin series. I don't really know what it's called, but yeah, I could do like a start a series with me or finish a series with me kind of video, or finish all my DNFs. I don't know, there's actually a lot of videos I can make, so let me know if you guys are interested in a reading vlog. I like kind of played with it and like made a reading / crochet video, so then I can like entertain both audiences, because I'm just so scared to just completely switch my content. I wouldn't like stop doing crochet content, but I'd like add reading content in there. And I don't know, I'm kind of scared. Because I've never done it before, and I want to perform it. Like, I want to do good. So I'll think about it. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely a maybe. I'm gonna turn a light on because the lighting is, the sun is not coming back out. Okay, next question. Okay, there's a lot of bookish questions in here, and I'm actually loving it. One that I'm seeing a lot is any book recommendations / like my favorite books. So let me pull up my Goodreads right now, because I don't remember a single book I read in my life. God, y'all, I've read 21 books this year, which is crazy to me because it's only April, and last year I read 20 books. Like, the whole year I only read 20 books, and so far I've read 21 books. So I'm really proud of myself. I don't know what's been going on this year, but I've been on like a book high. Like, I have not touched a book slump in like the last 6 months. So I know my next book slump is gonna hit so hard, but I'm hoping she never comes. Like, I do not want to get into a book slump. I hate book slumps. But anyways, I digress. So you guys are asking any book recommendations. Let me start from the bottom of my list. First recommendation is, if you haven't read the Caraval series, read the Caraval series, especially if you are like strictly a romance girly, because this is like, I was strictly a romance thriller girly until I read Caraval, and it introduced me to a whole new world and opened like a whole new door to so many new books in the fantasy romantasy realm. And I only read romantasy. I don't read like strictly fantasy books, because I feel like I will get very confused and bored. Like, I need love and a plot. So romantasy, I recommend Caraval. It's a YA romantasy series. It is so good. It is the first fantasy series I've ever read, and it was so good. I read it in like 3 days, the whole series. It was so good. 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it so much. I'm also going to try to avoid the books that I put in my last book video, because I'm just going to be repeating myself, especially if you already watched that video. So let me, that was a book that was in there, but let me give you guys recommendations that was not in there. Oh, that was also in there. Let me not. I'm giving you guys only like my 5-star reads. Let me give you guys some good ones. My next recommendation is another YA, and it's the Selection series. I've literally only read the first book, but I already know I'm going to be obsessed with the series. It is literally like a mix of Hunger Games and The Bachelor. Like, it is so good. And I know it's for like 12-year-olds, but I'm telling you, it'll unleash your like the little girl in you. Like, it'll make you feel like a kid again. And it is just the cutest, most innocent series ever. And I just loved the first book so much. I don't even want to read the rest of the books, because like I don't want to be done with it. It is just so like happy and cute, and I loved it. Like, if you just read a dark romance, read the Selection, and you will feel like healed. Like, it'll heal your inner child. It is so cute and so good, and I loved it. Next is one that I don't hear people talking about, and it is the Entangled with Fae series. Again, I've only read the first book. The books are not connected. They're all standalones, but the characters are like interlooped in the books, and it's like a twist, or not really a twist. It is like retellings of princess stories. So like, there's Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, Little Mermaid, Snow White, Aurora. Like, there's a couple of them, and they're so, oh my gosh, I read the Beauty and the Beast one, which is Curse of the Wolf King, and it was so good. Like, it was so good. I don't really know what else to say about it. It is really cute. It is really good. It literally feels like you're a princess reading a princess story. Like, I loved it so much. I loved princesses as a child, and I still love them as an adult. So reading about it just like in a new light feels like watching Beauty and the Beast all over again. So I definitely recommend it if you're like a princess fanatic, because I loved it so much. Like, it was so princess. I don't know. Next I'm gonna give you guys a little dark romance. The Never After series. They're basically, again, retellings of Disney stories, but Disney villains who win. Dark romance. That's all I'm saying. Dang, actually I can't even give you any recommendations. I'm realizing most of the books I've read are like popular books that everybody's read. You can go on my Goodreads and see like my 5-star reads if you are still curious, but I don't really have any like crazy book like, oh, you gotta read this, you've never read this type books. Next question. I think I'm gonna finish this flower and I'm gonna end this video because it's already been like, I've been filming for like the past hour and a half and I've made 1 rose. Okay, this one she asked, how is your process for crocheting custom orders, like payments, shipping, etc.? So it's easy for me because I have Etsy, and on Etsy it's so easy. But if you are doing it through like Instagram or just through DMs, the best way to do it is you just figure out the measurements you need for them, and that is like you just kind of have to figure that out. But I can't really tell you how to ask for the measurements because you should know what you need to ask for based on the pattern of the top. So ask for whatever measurements you need, ask in inches, and get literally every single measurement you might need because you have them now but you don't know if you're gonna have them later. So like, for example, say I need this measurement, this measurement, this measurement, this measurement. Ask everything you need to ask right now. Like, ask them everything you need to ask in one sitting, because a lot of the times what happens is I will message somebody, like they'll message me and I'll say, okay, I need this from you. They'll give it to me, and then like a couple of days later I'm like, oh wait, I also needed that from them. So then I'll ask them a couple of days later and they never respond. So make sure you ask them like immediately for all of their information, because you don't know if you're never going to see them again, you know what I mean? Yeah, sizing, color, all of that, address, all of that. And then make them pay. This is something I learned recently. You cannot trust anybody. Make them pay before you make the product, because this happened to me twice recently. Somebody asked me to make them like a Rama Buchan, and I made it. I literally took so long on it. It took me like a week to make because it was just so much and so many materials, and the materials were expensive. And she was like, okay, I'll pay you, I don't remember how much it was. I think it was 1 something or 2 something. And I was like, okay, like fair, whatever. So then I made it and I sent her the picture and I was like, this is it. Do you like it? Are you ready for me to ship it? And she was like, I love it so much. I love it so much. I get paid next week. I'll pay you then. And I was like, okay, perfect. So then the week comes. She never pays. I message her. She's like, oh, sorry. I'll pay next week. The week comes. She never pays. I message her. She never responds. And that was like 3 months ago. I ended up just giving the flowers to my grandma. Like, you need to. And then this happened again one time where it was a girl that has ordered from me lots of times. She's ordered a sweater from me a couple of times, and there was recently she ordered a sweater, and it was a custom sweater, and it was the biggest one I've ever made for her because it was for like her uncle. He was like 6 foot something, or her cousin, I don't remember, but it was like a huge sweater. I sent it to her and she was like, oh yeah, I love it, it looks beautiful. And I was like, perfect, I'll send the listing for payment. I sent it. She never paid. A couple weeks passed. I texted her again. I was like, hey, are you still gonna buy the listing? And she was like, oh yes, I'm so sorry, I'll buy it right now. Never bought it. It's still sitting in my closet to this day. So just make sure, especially if it's like a bigger order, make sure that you get them to pay beforehand, and if they end up not liking it, then they can get a refund. There's always a way to give money back, but there's never a way to get the money from the person. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So make sure they pay beforehand, just to make sure you don't get scammed, basically. Make sure you have all types of payment. So if you're using like Instagram or DMs or something, make sure you take Apple Pay, make sure you take Zelle, make sure you take Cash App. Like, take every single form of payment, because you don't know what like their preferred form of payment is, and they're the ones paying you. They shouldn't have to go out of their way to download a whole app to pay you. You know what I mean? So just make sure that they can pay you in every single way that they need to. And then you can go ahead and go on USPS and you can make a shipping label. You just put all of their information, all of your information, you pay however much the shipping is, and then they'll give you a shipping label. You go ahead and print that, you put it on the package, and you send it off. That is how you make custom orders. That is how I do it if I weren't doing it on Etsy. On Etsy, it's a lot easier because you can just make a custom listing, put your price, put the shipping price, send it over to them, they buy it, you ship the shipping label, you print the shipping label and you ship it off. It's pretty easy, and they'll pay beforehand. So yeah, my biggest tip for that though is make sure they pay beforehand, because you cannot trust anybody. You cannot trust anybody. I really thought I could trust these 2 girls that bought for me, because we were having conversations, like joking with each other, laughing with each other, sending each other, like I would send them updates and they'd be like, oh my gosh, I love it, and then they never paid me. I don't know, just protect yourself. you can't trust anybody. Okay, I really like this question. She asked, do you want crocheting to be a forever job? And I love the way you worded that, like a forever job. Like, that is so cute. But do I want crocheting to be my forever job? I kind of answered this on one of my Instagram stories, but basically what I said was, I think that for basically the rest of my life, I think I'll be crocheting for the rest of my life. And if I'm crocheting, I might as well make a profit out of it. But I don't think crocheting will ever be my full-time job, just because I don't think I could handle that, and I don't think I would be able to. I'm just like, realistically, I don't think I would make enough money from just crocheting alone to support myself and my, like, the lifestyle that I want to live. So crocheting will definitely be like a side hustle for me for the rest of my life. For like my first half of high school, it was my main source of income. Like, it was my job because I was making enough to support me, like, my high school self. But as I'm like growing older and my needs are like going up and I'm having to pay for a lot more, I'm like realizing that crocheting might not be like a full-time job for me. And so the answer is no. I don't think it'll be a forever job, but I do think it'll be a forever hobby and a forever side hustle. I think my forever job is, it's still unknown, but from what I have gathered, from what I enjoy, and from what I see myself making more income on, I think my forever job will be YouTube. I think that'll be like my main job, but I will have like 1,000 side hustles around this one thing. Like, maybe doing hair, maybe making a clothing brand, maybe starting knitting, maybe like posting TikToks, posting Instagram, like just other side things that can also make me money will also be like my job. But I think my main, I'm praying, and God willingly, I think my main job will be YouTube. But if not, then maybe doing hair will be my main job. Like, I just don't see myself ever doing like a not saying that these aren't serious jobs, but like doing like a serious job like a doctor or like an architect or a store clerk. Like, I don't ever see myself working for other people, if that makes sense. I think that I pray, and I really think that for the rest of my life I will be working for myself, and I hope that this is all true. I hope that God, like, that's God's plan for me. If it's not, then it's not, and that's okay. But that is what I think that my full-time job is gonna be. I find it more fun to do things under my rules. Maybe it's because I'm an only child, I don't know, but I like it my way. Next question, I think I'm gonna make this the last question because I finally finished my rows. So let me find something good. Okay, I think this is a good question because I would want to know too, and I still want to know. But the question is, do you ever get nervous when making custom orders that they won't fit? If so, what do you do? This is a really good question because recently I was making a custom order and it felt like it was too big. Like, I was like, this is not gonna fit her. She's a B cup. This looks like it's an F cup. Like, you know, and this happens a lot of the times when I'm making custom orders. I just feel like the measurements are not accurate, like, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, I feel like it doesn't make sense. But the way I deal with this is ask for their measurements and ask for every little measurement that you think you will ever need. And typically when I'm making custom orders, I always have this problem when it's like a bra type of top and they give me their cup size, but I feel like the cup size is too small. What I do is if they have like my cup size, I'll measure it to myself. But if they don't, I will go like buy a bra that has their cup size and I will measure it to that bra. And that's how I do it with like bra tops. It works for me. I've never gotten any like, hey, this doesn't fit me, you know, messages. So it's worked for me. I also put like there's like a crochet bra cup measurement guide, and I always send it to my customers and make sure that whatever size they are, it fits whatever's on that crochet thing, because crochet is different than like cloth, because cloth will stretch, crochet does not stretch. So I will always make sure to send them like the crochet version of the sizes, and then again, if they're like the same size as me, I always measure it to myself. If they're the same size as like my friend, I'll measure it to my friend, you know. And that's how I do it. I just can't I don't trust it. I have to test it somehow, some way on me or somebody else. And I always disinfect. A lot of people say, hey, why are you trying on people's orders? I always disinfect it afterwards. Like, I spray the Lysol thing on it so it disinfects, and I've never gotten any problems with it. I don't know. I always try on my customers' stuff. Not always, but like most of the time I try it on just to make sure that everything is right and proportionate, because there has been times where I've made something and I tried it on and it was messed up. Like I had to redo the whole thing. So I just always try stuff on. I'm sorry if that disgusts you. Like that's just how I make sure it's perfect and it fits. And again, I disinfect it, I lint roll it, I get it clean, like I make sure it's not dirty, and I try it on for literally like 5 minutes max. I just have to make sure it fits right. That's how I do it. I still get nervous to this day, but they never message me. If I get a custom order and it doesn't fit them, then I always send them a new one. Like I don't do refunds, but if it's a custom order and they requested a certain size and I don't give them that size, I always remake it. I always send them a new one because they spent money and told me their measurements and I got the measurement, like it doesn't fit them. So you know, I just always make sure, I want to keep people happy, you know, they paid a lot of money and I want them to be satisfied. But I haven't had any sizing problems. I've had like maybe 1 or 2 in my whole like crochet experience, but that's just because I always measure it to a source. Like I always have a source, whether it's myself or a piece of clothing or somebody else. I just make sure that whatever size they are fits them, you know. And I make sure I'm always measuring with my measuring tape. And yeah, and if I'm scared that it's gonna be too small, like I always make sure I go a little bit bigger rather than a little bit smaller, because if it's a little smaller you can't fix that. But if it's a little bit bigger, you know, they can just tighten it, or you can just take off like a round. But if it's a little bit too, like I don't know, I always go a little bit, if I have to be too big or too small, I always go too big, because crochet doesn't stretch. And maybe like when they were measuring themselves, they stretched it a little bit. I don't know how to answer this one. I hope that whatever I just said makes sense. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end this video. It's been a long time and I've made 1 rose. I thought I was gonna make 10, but I wasn't thinking, I forgot I have to count. So yeah, but yeah, here are my roses. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are like, I like to know if you're new or if you're returning. So I've been asking like you guys to comment if you're a new watcher or if you're a returning watcher. And please subscribe if you like this video. You don't have to subscribe, but it would help me out. It would help me out. And yeah, let me know what you guys want to see from me next. This was kind of like a spur of the moment video that I have to post tomorrow, because the video that I had planned for this week is taking a lot longer than I thought. And then I got like bombarded with orders, so I had to stop doing that. But regardless, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Comment down below if you guys ended up finishing your project or if you're almost done with it. I'm definitely nowhere close to 20 roses, but you know, hey, I hope to see you next week, next Sunday at 12 a.m. Bye. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Again, it was a long one, but you guys stuck with me. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, comment a dinosaur emoji. Okay, bye. I love you guys so much. Bye.